We're going to be using NOAA's website, which stands for the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, to collect data from their TAO buoy array. The TAO buoy array is the largest man-made measuring tool ever created. It stretches from South America here on your right all the way to Australia here on your left. It's not a single piece, it's just a variety of buoys all the way across the South Pacific Ocean. And you can get all sorts of data from this, rain data, sea surface temperature data, which is what we're going to be looking at, air, all sorts of stuff. What we're going to need is this button here called the lat long map. And you can tell whether the next year is going to be an El Nino year based on the month of December. Now this goes all the way back to the early 1990s. It was fully operational in 1993. I'm going to start with 1996 as an example. The month that we need to look at is December. The date really doesn't matter here. And make sure you're on sea surface temperature for both, and then click mean for both. This is going to create two identical graphs here, which is okay. And make sure we're on monthly. Now we're going to go ahead and hit display. You'll see the date has disappeared, which is why it didn't matter. And it's going to show us a lat longitude map. And you're going to need to copy this into your Google Doc. So just use the copy and paste screenshot on your Chromebook. This is what it normally should look like. If South America is over here, Australia is over here, the trade winds are pushing from your right to your left, so north equatorial current, and south equatorial current being pushed from your left to your right. So that pushes warm water away from South America, and you see a nice little spot of cool water right here. So you're going to have to tell me what temperature water this is. So I'll explain how to do that in class, but it's really just looking at the lines to see what temperature water is here. Now let's compare that to another year. So I'm going to close this down. And let's go to 1997. Now 1997, we'll go ahead and hit display. You'll notice 1997 looks a lot different. During an El Nino year, the trade winds weaken, and it doesn't push water, warm water, across like it normally does. So it either reverses direction and goes towards South America, or it's not as strong and you get a pool of warm water here. Now this is an indication that 1998, so the summer of 1998, will be an El Nino year. 1996 was normal, which means 1997 would be a normal year. The other plot you're going to need to look at is the depth selection. Now in depth selection, again, I want you to select mean and mean. We're going to go with monthly. Just leave these as is. And let's go back to 1996. Now when you create display, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. This one takes a little longer. The way this graph is set up, and both of these are the same, is over here is Australia, near 140 east, and over here is South America, near 100 west. The trade winds, so this you have to imagine up here is the surface, over at 0, down over here at 500 is a little bit lower down in the ocean. The trade winds are pushing from your right to your left. So it's pushing that warm water this way. Because it's pushing that warm water this way, this cool water is brought upward, and we call that upwelling. So this is another way to see whether it's going to be an El Nino year. That's why we had that little patch of blue, because warm water is being pushed away and replaced with this cooler water that is coming up off the coast of South America. So this is 1996. So you're going to take a screenshot of this one. You don't need the bottom one because it's a duplicate. Let's take a look at 1997. So we're going to go to December 1997. Depth selection. And now, because the trade winds have weakened, you'll see the difference. Now take a look here, 1997. Notice that the warm water is not being pushed towards Australia. It's just sitting there. The trade winds are very weak, so they're not really pushing the warm water towards Australia anymore, which means this cool water is not coming up off the coast of South America. No upwelling is happening. This means that 1998, the following year, will be an El Nino year because the trade winds are starting to weaken. In severe cases, you'll see this red start to dip down because the trade winds have reversed. So we're going to be collecting data from a lot of years. You're going to be doing a lot of screenshotting and telling me whether the following year is going to be a La Niña year.